Nick, can you introduce yourself?
Nick Perkin, co-founder and president of the Receivables Exchange.
So what is a Receivable Exchange?
The Receivables Exchange is the first electronic marketplace for the buying and selling of commercial receivables. The reality of it is that small businesses have not had the access to capital markets in the same way that large corporations have. And so what we've created is the world's first capital market where a small and medium business can register with our marketplace, our electronic marketplace, and sell its commercial receivables to institutional buyers from around the country. And so, similar to what eBay may do for its products, the NYSE may do for equities, the bond markets, the commodities markets, we've created a centralized marketplace where sellers, small and medium companies, can sell their commercial receivables, access working capital to institutional buyers, hedge funds, banks, family offices. And so what that creates is new avenues of working capital. It creates a mechanism where they get to choose which invoices they sell, at what price point they want to sell it. So what that means is it puts them in control of the process. So really it turns the process of accessing capital for small and medium companies upside down, as opposed to the financial institutions telling them, here's how we will provide you finance and at what cost. Now the sellers, the small and medium companies, can say, here's at what cost I'm willing to pay, here's what I'm willing to sell, and this is exactly how much I need. So we empower the small and medium company to use their commercial receivables to sell their commercial receivables, to access working capital at the price that they want, that they believe they deserve. So it turns the traditional commercial relationship upside down. Typically a small business has about 60% of its working capital tied up in receivables. So what we allow that small and medium company to do is unlock that working capital, and they can receive that capital within 1 or 2 days. So as opposed to waiting for that 60% for an average of 60 days, they can now receive it within 24 hours. So they use this to make payroll, to pay rent, to hire, to grow, to invest in R&D. So that capital, while it's sitting there for 60 days, is not utilizable by those small and medium companies. What we allow them to do is unlock that capital and deploy it in the form of, well, what happens is they register with our exchange, they post them for sale, and then a competitive bidding process occurs. So it's real time. Typically an invoice will sell within 24 hours. And 24 hours after that, same day or next day, the seller will get their working capital. So we believe that it's the fastest mechanism for accessing working capital in the world. On our exchange, a seller gets 99 to 98 cents on the dollar. So they're paying 1 to 2 cents on the dollar, receiving 99 to 98 cents on the dollar. So while we believe our pricing is extremely competitive, one of the things that a marketplace like ours allows us to do and allows sellers to do is the more they trade, the more they drive down their cost of funds. So the more activity they provide, the more history they provide of their transactions, the lower their cost of capital. So that's one of the benefits. One of the other benefits is you go through the registration process once. So in the traditional offline world, you go and apply for capital, and you have to go through one registration and one application after another. In our world, you apply once, and when approved, you can be financed by one of hundreds of potential institutional investors that are looking to buy your receivables. So it's a one-time process. You use it when you need it, and we believe that it's the most flexible solution out there. Well, it's actually the opposite of factoring, because in the instance of factoring, what you're talking about is a principal-to-principal transaction, a person looking to provide capital and the person who needs that capital. And the instance of the person looking to provide that capital, they're looking for the highest return for the lowest amount of risk. In our world, we're looking to create transparency, efficiency, competition to get that seller, that small and medium company, their market rate cost of capital. So the capital they deserve based upon the risk of that particular company. So we're not on the principal side, we're simply the mechanism in the middle that provides the rules, that provides the transparency, and that provides the competition.
So tell us a little bit more about the company. Where are you guys based? How many employees? Have you raised yourself capital?
We're about 70 people, headquartered in New Orleans, offices in New York, and a technology team in California. We're just about 70 with 3 rounds of financing, raised just under $40 million to date. Our last round of funding was done by Bain Capital out of Boston. Our B round was done by Redpoint Ventures, who did companies like Netflix. Some other metrics that are interesting, we've grown year to date by over 300%. We'll finish the year growing at over 400%. Last year we grew by 50% every month. So we're growing very quickly. We're adding about 5 new selling companies per day.
How many small businesses today on the exchange?
About 1,500 registered small companies. Well, our business model is like any other exchange, is a commission transaction model. So we take a commission on the gross volume that transacts on the exchange.